Hello to our friends, this is Pablo and I am here to show you another one of our very cool features that we added to our follow spot system. We call it Assisted Followspot. First, I'm going to show you how it works. Then I'm going to show you all the technical details at the end of the video. If you see around me, I have a bunch of screens, and these screens are depicting what you see on the console when you are performing follow spotting. One of the things that you can notice is that there is a green box around me, and the follow spot lights are keeping track on where I am and automatically aiming at me. That is basically how it works. After everything is said and done and you do the proper setup and all of that. You just move around and the follow spot will keep track of you and automatically follow you. Right now I have two lights, which is the typical setup for a follow spot system. And I am using some of the advanced features to make it work. The performance of the follow spot feature is highly dependent on the machine that you're running it on. Some of the technical terms are that we are using what is called a deep neural network or artificial intelligence. So you need to run it on a fast enough computer. But I'm demonstrating worst case scenario with an average computer without the NVIDIA GPU. Some of the parameters that you got to look for are how fast can the system do object detection. The object detection is measured on frames per second, meaning how many times in 1 second the system can look at the video and detect where the object, in this case the person, me, is, so it can do the tracking of that object as it moves. The faster the object moves, the faster the frames per second detection should be. Now, as a benchmark, if you're only doing follow spot for somebody who's moving slow, like somebody giving a speech that it just takes a few steps back and forth, moves side to side, or for an event where you have like the Quinceanera dancing with that, or you have the bride and the groom that they're moving sort of slow, pretty much any computer will do. And what you're looking at is the parameter on the user interface, the GUI app, the camera viewer, that is called detection FPS. So that is detection frames per second. As long as that number is above 6 or 7, you can do tracking for a slow moving target. If you want to track a faster moving target, you will probably want to use a faster computer, and that parameter is going to go up. It's going to go up to 10, 15, 20, up to 30. The video feed from our cameras can do up to 30 frames per second. And you can change that. And you should change it if you have a slower computer so you don't overwhelm the system. But for a fast system, that camera can do up to 30 frames per second. So the system will be able to process up to 30 frames per second. Right now, I'm looking at my stats, and my system is processing about 6 or 7 frames per second. And this is the performance on that system. So this happens after you calibrate the system. The two lights needs to be calibrated, and you fiddle with some of the controls. There are controls that allows you to fine-tune the controller for the tracking system. And also, there are controls that allow you to change and fine-tune the parameters of the video stream coming in from the camera. So you change it on the camera itself. My system have two lights. Both of them have a camera, but only one of them work at a time. Now, this is called assisted follow spotting because it can do auto follow spotting depending on the system that you're running it on, but also say that the object went behind an obstacle or is moving too fast and the system cannot keep up, you can correct with the joystick and then the system will take over. I am also using some of the advanced features on the follow spot controller, which is, one of them is called auto zoom. So basically the controller knows how far you are from the light, and it will change the zoom angle so it doesn't wash out and it doesn't just become a very small dot on you. Again, this system is very and highly dependent on the type of computer that you're running on, and we recommend using a computer that has an NVIDIA GPU. Let me show you how to use the GUI app to do assisted follow spotting. Once you have the lights installed and calibrated, I'm not going to cover that on this video, that's covered on other videos. You start up the GUI app on your machine. Once you have the app GUI running on your machine, you find the tool called Camera Viewer. You choose one of the lights that you have a camera on. I'm going to just go with light 1. And you start playing the video. Since I'm already here on this point, let me make a quick demonstration of a really cool feature. A lot of people want to use the cameras to display images on the facade, like we're doing right here, or an LED screen. But as you notice, you have all these controls that get on the way. So we added a feature that if you want to just display the image without doing detection, you can go to this, the screen canvas, double click on it, and the screen will become full. So you can display the image from the camera on any screen, like the LED screen behind me, the LED screen on that side, the facade. And another question we have is, how can you have multiple screens with the facade? Well, the facade is just a screen. It could be thought of as a second monitor on your computer, or an extended monitor. So you get the HDMI signal coming out of your computer, and you connect it directly into the controller and the facade. But if you have more than one screen, what we have in this case is an HDMI hub that we send the signal from the computer into the input, and from the output, one goes to the controller of the facade, one goes to one screen, and another one goes to another screen, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now that covers the full screen feature. I double click on the screen again, and it takes me back to the main user interface. So let's connect again, but this time let's do the detection, the object detection and the tracking. So once you have the video stream connected to the Camera Viewer user interface, what you do is, and I'm going to use my finger on a touch screen, you can use the mouse, you start the detection, and then the detection will find people, potential targets to follow, and it will draw a yellow box around the potential target. So if there is more than one people, you might see more than one box around each person. In this case, it's just me. So once you see the yellow box around the object or around the target that you want to follow, you just drag with your mouse or your finger on it, and the box changes color to tell you I'm locked on it. But it's not tracking yet. This is just the person detection that is working. If you want the system to actually track you, you gotta click on the track button, and now the system will track you automatically. That's all it takes. You basically start the video stream, start the detection, and then start tracking. And again, depending on the system you have, it will be faster or slower. Some of you might ask, well, I already purchased a controller, rather the large or the mini from you. Do I have to buy anything else to get the system to work? Well, the good news is no. You just have to do a firmware update on your controller, whether it's the large controller or the mini controller, and then get the latest GUI. That's it. With the latest GUI and the latest firmware on your controller, you can start doing assisted follow spotting today if you had one of our lights with the camera. Well, that covers the basics on our new feature that we call assisted follow spotting. I hope you like this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.